Hello, my name's Stephen Pass and I'm the author of a children's book, Madge the Mermaid, about a mermaid made from recycled materials. I've also recently published the follow-up sequel, Madge the Mermaid and the Attack of the Twins. See, Madge the Mermaid, it took 2 years to make this book, just over 2 years. It took me, Stephen, the author, it took me 7 or 8 months to write the words. And then it took the illustrator, Joseph Mark Harrison, it took him about a year to do the illustration. And then it took the page designer, Steve, a few months to lay it out on page. So from start to finish, it took just over 2 years. And do you think that's a long time? I do. And I prefer to write poetry because I can write it quicker. And I write poems about anything I see or hear around me. So this first poem, I play cricket. And this is a picture of my cricket team, the Bradford Telegraph and Argus newspaper team. And can you tell which person I am on the photo? I'm on the back row, second from the right. And I play with an American guy called Darryl, who's a wicket keeper. He's the one who's doing that on the photo. That's Darryl. And one time Darryl came into the changing room and he was late and he was all flustered, like stressed, because he was all rushed. He says, "Oh, I've just been tidying up after my daughters." The hair was everywhere. He's got 2 daughters. So I thought of this poem to tell him. Hair, hair, hair everywhere, some on the floor, some on the stair, some on the table, some on the chair. Hair, hair, it gets everywhere. Hair in the sink, hair in my drink. What should I think? Even when I blink, it's there, it's hair, hair, hair. It gets everywhere. Mum's hair, dad's hair, girl's hair, boy's hair, cat's hair, dog's hair, chinchilla's hair. How did that get there? Oh, there's hair, hair, hair everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed that one. And I didn't know what a chinchilla looked like. So this is a picture of a chinchilla. And some people think a chinchilla looks like a mouse's body and cat's ears, or a mouse's body and a squirrel's tail. But apparently, if they don't lose much hair, they like to have a bath in sand. So anyway, I'm going to tell you my next poem now. And this poem, I thought of it, I was cycling near to where I live. And I was going on a main road and a lorry driver had got lost and he was trying to turn his big lorry round on a main road. And he was holding all the traffic up as he did it. And I cycled by, but he must have turned his lorry round because all of a sudden he came alongside me, he stopped his lorry, he got out and he gave me a piece of paper with an address on it. And I knew where he wanted to go, but the problem was he was German and couldn't speak English and I couldn't speak German. So we had to communicate through sign language. And we did. And I think he knew where to go. But someone said to me afterwards, "Well, why didn't you just show him if you're on your bike?" But I didn't think of that. Instead, I thought of his poem instead. See if you can follow the directions. "Excuse me, can you tell me how I get to there?" "Yeah, you go up there, round there, right there, up there, and then you're there." "Sorry, where?" "It's up there, round there, right there, up there, and then you're there." "After right there, is it left there?" "No, it's up there, after right there." "Oh, I despair I'll never get there." "Of course you'll get there. Look, it's up there, round there, right there, up there, and then you're there." "Aha, aha, great, well, I'll see you there." So I hope you could follow that. I've drawn a little map so you can see which way to go. It's up there, round there, right there, up there, and then you're there. So I hope we all got there. Right, this next poem is about a bumblebee. Who here likes bumblebees? And who doesn't like bumblebees? Now this poem is for you who don't like bumblebees. And I thought of it, I was at my friend's wedding. I was stood on the lawn talking to this Italian lady and we were chatting away. And she had a glass of wine and we were chatting. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of her eye, she saw a bumblebee. And it was coming straight for us. And she just panicked. She went, "Ah!" and ran off. And I watched her run away. And then she came back. And I said to her, "What, are you scared of bees?" And she says, "Oh, I'm terrified of them." So we started talking again, and then a bumblebee came at us again, and she just ran off. She went, "Ah!" So I watched her run away again, and then she came back. And when she came back, I thought, I'm going to write a poem for her. So this is a poem for all you who don't like bumblebees. I'm using poetic license. I am trying to imagine what a bumblebee must look like to someone who's scared of one. The ground is shaking. Oh no, it's coming for me. It's as big as a tree. Oh no, it's a bee. The ground is shaking, the earth is quaking, the leaves are falling from the trees. Oh no, it's coming for me. Oh no, it's a bee. You see, I go to lots of schools with my workshop, and what doing school is I ask the children to make the sound of a bee, and I say the poem over it. So can you make the sound of a bee? Zzz, zzz, as loud as you can, and I was going to say the poem. The ground is shaking. Oh no, it's coming for me. It's as big as a tree. Oh no, it's a bee. The ground is shaking, the earth is quaking, the leaves are falling from the trees. Oh no, it's coming for me. Oh no, it's a bee. So I hope you like that poem. We're going to go on to the book now. But before we read Madge the Mermaid, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And the first question is this. Where do you think Cornwall is? It's a region of a country. Do you think it's to the top, the north, in the middle, or to the south, the bottom of the country? And do you think it's to the east, the right, or the west, the left? Just take a second to think. It is the most southwesterly part of the country. There at the bottom left, where the pin is with the red. And my friend, he lived in a place called Perranporth. It's there on the map. And I went to see him on holiday, and you can see on the photo there's the sands and the sand dunes. And as we were walking along the beach by the sand dunes, we came across a mermaid. And I'm going to show you a photo of me and the mermaid, because some people think the mermaid looks beautiful. I do. But some people think she's a bit freaky. So see what you think. So, before I show you that photo though, I'm going to ask you another question. If you've been to the seaside, what have you seen washed up on the beach? Just take a second to think. What could it be? Maybe you've seen driftwood, shells, seaweed, a crab's leg, dead fish, fishing netting. Well, I saw a mermaid, and this is a picture of me and a Perranporth mermaid. So, who thinks she looks beautiful? Yeah. Well, she was made up of things washed up on a beach. So she's got a bucket for her head, cups for eyes, a cup for her nose, a brush for her mouth, fishing netting for her dress. And you can't see it on the photo, but she had rubber glove hands and a really long tail. And she was stood there, just looking out to sea. And she was the inspiration for my book. As soon as I saw her, I thought, I'm going to write a story for children. I was a journalist at the time, working on the Sky Sports website. We're going to read a book now. The hero of the story is a boy called Alan, who's 9.5. He's been picked up that morning by his Auntie Katie and taken in her car to her home at the seaside for the start of his holidays. So Alan has drawn this map. You see the map on the right hand side of the slide. So Auntie Katie lives in a house on top of the hill overlooking the beach. At the end of the beach is Madge, there's a cliff and there's a whale rock. There's 6 words on that map, but Alan has spelt one of them wrong. Can you see which word he has spelt wrong? Take a second to look. Which word do you think it is? Right? It's Auntie. He's missed a U out of it. You spell Auntie, A-U-N-T-I-E. Or it could have a Y at the end. So all of you who spell Auntie correctly, you can spell better than Alan. Right, we're going to start reading the first chapter now. When Alan first saw Madge the Mermaid, he gasped. She was so colourful. She had long red hair, round yellow ears, and a purple face with white eyes and blue nose. Her arms were also blue. She had a yellow left hand and an orange right hand, while her green dress flowed into her long green tail, over 2 metres in length. She was standing there, looking out to sea, at the foot of a sand dune on the edge of the beach. Alan ran up close to her, curious to see how she was made. He felt a wiry fishnet dress and marvelled at her thick arms, which were also made of fishing netting, wrapped around a piece of wood. He shook her rubber-gloved hands, laughing as he did so. He stared into her white eyes, made of plastic cups, and pressed her blue-cup nose. Then he made up a song for her. Do you want to sing this song with me? Ready? Madge the Mermaid with nose so blue, how I wish I could swim with you. Madge the Mermaid with eyes so bright, do you stay awake at night? Madge the Mermaid with tail so long, do you like my stupid song? We're going to find out if she does. Alan laughed as he sang and then gave her a big hug, smelling the salty sea on her green netting dress. As he hugged her tight, just like he would his mum, he realised there was a difference. When he hugged his mum, he could hear her heart beating in her chest, but he could not hear Madge's heart. He was still thinking this as Sammy, his auntie's black Labrador, started tugging on his left trouser leg. All right, Sammy, I'm coming, Alan told him as he let Madge go. Sammy sprinted off towards the sea and Alan gave chase. But Sammy was fast, barking with joy as he raced along, and Alan ran and ran, but could not catch up with him until the dog reached the edge of the sea and started splashing around in the water. Alan eventually reached the sea, panting for breath. He bent over with his hands on his knees and his heart pounding in his ears, and he thought again of Madge and how she did not have a heart. Suddenly, an idea came into his head as he saw a round shell by his feet. He knew what he would do. He would make Madge a heart out of seashells. Ha ha, he thought, as he began to look around the beach for shells, while Sammy ran happily around him, thinking it was a game. But Alan was deadly serious and he had soon collected 15 shells. Round ones, long straight ones, brown ones, white ones and grey ones. With his hands so full that he couldn't carry any more, he ran back with Sammy towards Madge. When he got to her, he started to wrap the shells carefully into the netting of her dress, where he thought her heart should be. As he did this, he sang his song once more, but this time added another verse. So we're going to sing the song together again. Madge the Mermaid, with nose so blue, how I wish I could swim with you. Madge the Mermaid, with eyes so bright, do you stay awake at night? Madge the Mermaid, with tail so long, do you like my stupid song? Madge the Mermaid, with heart of shells, do you have any tales to tell? And you see, once I went into a school in Burnley, and as I walked in, they were stood around a big screen at the front of a class, and Alan's song was on the big screen from my website, and they were all rap fans, so they were rapping it. They were singing and going, Madge the Mermaid with nose so blue, how I wish I could swim with you. Madge the Mermaid with eyes so bright, do you stay awake at night? Madge the Mermaid with tail so long, do you like my stupid song? So do you want to try and do the rap version of Alan's song? So if you do, if you want to stand up and warm up, get your body moving a bit, and at the end, they all finished it like that. So we'll do that at the end, yep. So you ready to do the rap version of a song? 3, 2, 1. Madge the Mermaid with nose so blue, how I wish I could swim with you. Madge the Mermaid with eyes so bright, do you stay awake at night? Madge the Mermaid with tail so long, do you like my stupid song? Madge the Mermaid with heart of shells, do you have any tales to tell? So I hope you enjoyed doing that. And we'll get back to the reading. So I'll just get the book. So we are on page 14 now. Suddenly, he thought he heard a girl's laughter on the wind. It was a musical laugh, but it sounded distant, like it was dancing on the sea breeze. He stopped putting the shells into Madge's dress and looked around, thinking there must be somebody nearby. But the beach was empty, and so he looked up at the sand dune and scanned the nearby cliffs, but couldn't see anyone there either. Alan thought it strange as he continued putting the shells he had collected into the netting of Madge's dress. When he had finished, he heard the girl's voice once more, distantly on the wind. Thank you. Do you think her voice would sound like that on the wind? How would you say thank you on the wind? Thank you. Or maybe a bit deeper. Thank you. How would you say it? Right, we'll continue reading. He looked around again, but there was still no one on the beach, nor on the sand dune, or on the cliffs. Could it be Madge who was speaking? He looked up, studying her face. Her yellow piping mouth was not moving, but her white cup eye seemed to twinkle in the evening sunlight. Wanting to see if it was her, he pressed her nose and heard the girl giggle on the wind. So he tickled her left hand and heard giggle again. Ha ha! Madge was alive! Just then his mobile phone rang. It rang 3 times, and Alan knew that this was his auntie telling him his tea was ready. See you, Madge, Alan cried out, pressing her nose once more before turning and running away with Sammy at his heels back to his auntie's house on top of the hill overlooking the beach. His heart was leaping for joy as he ran, because Madge now had her shell out, and she was alive.